6:60. Schaefer will get you on the call. Fletcher gets you on the post game starting at 6:30. Baylor are 2.5-point favorites. Be the 3 C's MVP this month at Valley View Casino and Hotel on November 28th. One lucky winner will score cash, and more cash, or a spin for $100,000 during the 3 C's giveaway. Only at San Diego's favorite casino.
Let's get it going. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. Happy busiest travel day of the year. Fit all that in there. And what you get is 2 hours of excellent radio coming up. My name is Ben Fletcher. That's Sammy Long. We'll be with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer will take over then live from Las Vegas. All right, like Sammy just mentioned, Mike Schilt got a new job already after his retirement. Bounce back win for San Diego State last night. A trio of awesome games in the NFL tomorrow. SDFC in the Western Conference Finals on Saturday at 6. Aztecs football on Friday at 12:30 with everything on the line. Man, oh man, we got a busy show for you today and a Black Friday game. I didn't even mention that. It is San Diego Sports 760. We do have a 4-pack of tickets to SeaWorld San Diego to give away. It's days like today that Sammy and I are literally in this job for. It's days and weeks like this week where everything is going on at the same time that we kind of put everything into little cubicles and we're going to attack everything at once and separate everything out. But I do want to start with San Diego State basketball because last night, I said it on the pregame show. You take away whatever you want to take away from that Michigan. They lost by 40. They got their asses kicked. They played really poorly. Michigan is looking to be a real threat, potentially working its way up to a top 3 seed in the country come next Monday when the new AP poll gets announced. We'll see how they do against Gonzaga today. I said take whatever you want from that game, but look at how they play against Oregon and make that be your main takeaway of the last 2 days. Because how a team bounces back after getting their teeth kicked in, how a team responds, whether they completely shy away and they take that confidence hit and they just disappear and die, or whether they bounce back and show some real resilience against another good basketball team in Oregon is going to make you learn a lot about what this team is for the remainder of this season. And what a response by the Aztecs. What a response by Reese Waters, who really struggled from the field against Michigan to come out and be in the 20s. I think he finished with 22. How about BJ Davis? Understanding when this team needed a bucket, he went on an 8-0 run all by himself last night. Miles Bird, Magoon Guath, everyone played well. The Aztecs shot damn near 70% last night. It was such a good sign for this team and the future of the program and where we all thought they would be going that last night went the way it did. And now, much like we said, you got to flush the game from 2 nights ago against Michigan. You got to flush all the good feelings from the win because now you're going up against a Baylor team that's top 30 in KenPom. That is big and physical, and that's going to be really tough tonight out in Las Vegas. Sammy, this tournament's awesome.
It's been fantastic. I think the underlying thing of that Michigan drubbing was that LZ Harrington started getting some run. And 5 of 6 last night, 12 points coming off the bench is fantastic. You mentioned Reese Waters, playing like the star that we know he can be. Magoon Guath had in 13 as well. So, as Miles Bird kind of finds his shot again, he only had 7 on the night. And to that end, it was cool to see after kind of getting your head kicked in on Monday. Well, not kind of, they did get their head kicked in on Monday by 40. And to respond one night later against a very solid Oregon team, they got to do the same thing again tonight. But coming off a week where you have a surprising loss to Troy, no one expected that. Then you get blasted by Michigan in a game that a lot of people thought would be competitive. The Aztecs have a chance to win. To come back against Oregon, a team that beat you in this tournament last year, then you get another golden opportunity against Baylor. I think you could really... You don't erase the last 2 weeks. You're not going to erase a 40-point loss to Michigan. You're not going to erase a double overtime loss to Troy. But coming off those 2 rough performances, you stack one against Oregon, you stack another one tonight against Baylor. I think the vibes going forward are much different than they were even just 24 hours ago.
Yeah, you don't erase them, but the line starts to fade a little bit, right? The anvil that it was gets lifted up just a little bit with a couple of wins, and that's assuming a win tonight. Baylor's fantastic, man. They are big and physical, and a lot of the problems that Michigan caused for San Diego State, Baylor can do the exact same thing. Now, I will say, I think it was a good feeling for me. It was a good feeling for a lot of Aztec fans when they saw Michigan also kicking the absolute living daylight out of Auburn, who's ranked number 21 in the country yesterday. And we'll see how they do against Gonzaga today. You talk about headlining game in this country. Michigan, Gonzaga, championship of this Players Era Invitational, Players Era Festival. That's what these guys had in mind, was getting the 2 best teams in the country, which these 2 might be the 2 best teams in the country right now. Michigan, Gonzaga going head-to-head in the championship of this thing. San Diego State will kind of be the the dessert of that entree that's coming up today. And then San Diego State will play at 7:30. I'll be back with you at 6:30 tonight, getting you ready for that one. Of course, John Schaefer, like he has been all week out in Las Vegas, will be on the call at 7:30 tonight. I talked about this a little bit yesterday, Sammy, but is there a busier human being in the world of sports media than John Schaefer?
John, I can't believe he's doing a radio show. He's doing the games, and then he's got the Aztecs football on Friday. Like, I mean, this guy's all over the place all week.
So I'm not gonna I am exhausted right now. It's been a rough week for Ben Fletcher. It's been a good week, but it's been a lot of work this week. And I think I did the math earlier. I'm up near 42 something hours already this week. I think John's far surpassed that. And John is not going to be home for Thanksgiving, or he may fly home tonight and then he's right back on a plane tomorrow at like 11 o'clock.
We got into this yesterday, though. John, though, does have the luxury if he got to go to Vegas. John was talking about on his show with Jim last week about how I have to go to Vegas. I go, no, you get to go to Vegas. It's never a have to. You're not going to, with all due respect, if you're from Laramie, Wyoming. If I get into Laramie, Wyoming, yeah, I have to go there. I don't want to go there.
Good news for John. We got him a one-way ticket out to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, hot spot in America on Turkey Day.
Dude, John Schaefer deserves a round of applause from us all, and he will certainly get that a little bit later on today. John does a very, very good job with basketball too. His calls the last couple of nights have been awesome. All right, so we got that going on. San Diego State, Baylor later tonight. Look, Baylor's just a couple years removed from a national championship game. They've been excellent so far this season. We'll see how this one goes, but another opportunity, like Sammy said, it's the right word to say for San Diego State tonight to go in and get one of those big non-conference wins. I'm glad the way the bracket worked out for San Diego State. I really am. All right, we also have SDFC coming up on Saturday, one of the biggest games in San Diego sports over the last decade. We have San Diego State Aztecs who are playing on Friday in Albuquerque, New Mexico against New Mexico. And the Mountain West put out their breakdown of all the results that can come out of that game, and Boise State's game and UNLV game. It's all very confusing, and there's a million different ways that the Mountain West championship game could actually still be unfolding here. But if San Diego State wins, they're hosting. Most likely they'll be playing against Boise State in the Mountain West championship game if they handle business on the road in New Mexico, which is going to be really, really tricky to do. All right, Sammy, let's get to the big three here. We got Steve Hartman coming up at 1:30. What am I forgetting something, Sammy?
So much. Just wanted to say our text line is still down. We are working on it for next week to set up a new one, but please, we want to hear from you. Hit us on Twitter, X at Fletch and Sammy, or San Diego Sports 760, and then on our stream at San Diego Sports 760 on YouTube. Hop in the comment section.
Perfectly done. That's everything I forgot. Sammy, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
We have talkbacks too. I forgot.
Oh, yeah. Talkback mic. Open up the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760. There's a little red microphone up in the top right-hand corner. Click that button. Listen to our station and leave us a talkback and go straight to Sammy's computer. We'd love to hear from you today. Sammy, Big Three me.
All right, so this one's a little bit of a hypothetical. So we got great Turkey Day slate of games, Black Friday game as well. So I'll read all the games if you're not familiar. Packers, Lions, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bengals, and Ravens. And then the Friday game is Bears and the Eagles. All right, so outside of Mahomes, Lamar, and Burrow, who we know are franchise quarterbacks, what QB would you start a team with on all the holiday games? Jordan Love, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams.
I mean, the right answer is probably Jalen Hurts. It's not going to be the answer I give. The next right answer would probably be Caleb Williams because he's young. It's also not the answer I'm going to give. I'm going to go with Jared Goff. Look, how old is Jared Goff? Is he 30 yet?
He's 31,
31? 31?
31, I believe.
Jared Goff, when he was with the Rams, look, people complain about his time with the Rams. He got him to a freaking Super Bowl. And we all forget that his career started with Jeff Fisher on Jeff Fisher's way out. So Sean McVay spent the first year and a half of him being there kind of undoing what Jeff Fisher did. Jared Goff, when he has a team around him, is as solid as it comes in the NFL. And he's been very good once again with the Detroit Lions this year. He has not been the reason games have been lost. It's been defense. It's been play calling. It's been clock management by Dan Campbell. So I'm actually going to go with Jared Goff. Now, I don't feel super confident in that answer. I would feel great about Jalen Hurts for the next 10 years. I would feel pretty good about Caleb Williams for the next 10 years, especially if he's paired with Ben Johnson. But I feel like the safest pick there is going to be Jared Goff for the next 6 years.
Okay.
Before he retires.
I So Jalen Hurts, you have to give the respect to because he's the only guy in this group who has won a Super Bowl.
Sure.
Jared Goff has been to a Super Bowl, lost to the New England Patriots. So Jalen Hurts
played well in that Super Bowl, by the way. That was the 9-6 game or whatever.
Yeah, 13-3. It was bad. It was pretty rough. They probably shouldn't have been in it because the Saints should have been in it. But I'm going to give Jalen Hurts his credit for being first just because he's won there. He's been there twice, and I think he does get disrespected as a pure passer. I'm going to go Dak Prescott. Because I feel like what Dak has had to deal with the Cowboys organization, which I actually think Jerry Jones moves recently, I got to give a lot of credit. Like everyone said he was crazy for the Micah Parsons deal. Look what he was able to get back. Now all of a sudden the defense looked damn good against Philly last week, adding Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson. You got Overshown back on the defense while still having a few first-round picks. But Dak Prescott, I mean, this is a guy who outside of getting hurt last year, like he was in the MVP conversation 2 years ago. He was in the MVP conversation for most of the year this year, and I think to some extent still is, but a little bit further down the list. Dak Prescott, with the amount of kind of nonsense with head coaches between Jason Garrett and Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones run his mouth at pressers and all the stuff, like what Dak Prescott has had to go through. He does have 2 playoff wins. I know he hasn't had the greatest playoff record, but I feel like if Dak Prescott was with an organization that's a little bit more stable, like Dak Prescott is not the reason why I think the Cowboys haven't had the playoff success that they have had since the 90s.
Where I'll give Dak a ton of credit is he seems like the perfect leader quarterback in the NFL today. He feels like the perfect kind of steady ship when everything around him is absolute chaos. I'll give Dak a ton of credit for that. His biggest knock is postseason performances.
That's it. And then like Caleb Williams, if you were taking from a pure age perspective and the ability to grow, I would go Caleb. I'm not a Jordan Love guy. I don't think he sucks. I would take Caleb Williams over him. But I think you can't really go wrong with any of these. The NFL's got some damn good matchups for Turkey Day.
Now, this is fun. Who would you pick in Circa Survivor? We were saving the Chiefs for this week.
Well, okay, if all the teams were available, I would pick the Ravens. That Ravens feel like the safest.
Even if Burrow's back?
Yeah, no T. Higgins. I think the offensive line is still a problem. I know Lamar in the offense has been a little off, but I would take the Ravens. My picks for the games are Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, and Friday I'm undecided on the Bears and Eagles.
Friday's tricky, man. I want to lean Bears. I really do, but it doesn't feel right to me. Now, there's only 900 people left in Circa Survivor. Doesn't that sting a little bit?
Dude, stupid Cincinnati.
Stupid Cincinnati. Now, we probably would have lost a couple weeks later with the Buffalo Bills, but stupid Cincinnati is
Who knows? Maybe I put the pick in wrong. Maybe we had a change of heart.
There's a lot of things that could have happened, but there's 900 people left, and this is the week that gets split into 2. So everyone has to make a pick for the Thursday and Friday game and the Sunday slated game.
We were going to go KC.
Yeah, we were.
But we were going to go Philly and save KC for Christmas.
I can't remember what we were going to do, but that sounds right. I'm just still mad at Cincinnati and Joe Flacco and Justin Fields.
All right, let's actually get to that Black Friday game. What team is under more pressure for a win on Friday? The Bears or the Eagles? Eagles coming off a 21-point loss. Bears, 5-game winning streak, but right on their heels, the Lions and the Packers.
I'm sure there's a lot of Chicago fans listening to me right now and probably hating the next words out of my mouth. Chicago's already playing with house money this year. They've already proven that the Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson thing can work. And it looks really, really good at times. The Eagles, on the other hand, are in shambles right now. They haven't looked good for weeks. They have some good wins over the last few weeks, but they haven't looked good in weeks. And so the Eagles are under the most pressure to get back to being the Eagles and take advantage of these final, 5-6 weeks of the season and look like the team that won the Super Bowl last year. That was a juggernaut last year. They have about 6 weeks here to really get back into form and get ready for the postseason, because right now, if they were to go into the NFC playoffs, there's no shot they're favored to win the Super Bowl once again.
No, yeah. I agree with everything you just said. It's both teams have a ton of pressure for different reasons. The Eagles are always going to have the benefit of the doubt if they're in the postseason because they did win last year. They have an excellent roster, and you do know that on any given Sunday, they could put the offense together, and it looks like it did last year, and you're going, of course, the Eagles are back. But we've had a large sample size. We've had 11 games of sample size where this team hasn't looked good. So there clearly are problems with this Eagles team, despite the roster being littered with stars. They need home field advantage because the offense isn't clicking at the same rate it was last year. So there's a lot of pressure on their end from that regard. And then the Bears end, the Bears have to prove it. The Bears have to prove they're on a 5-game winning streak. They've beaten a ton of bad competition. Their only win they've had with a team above 500 was the Steelers last week, and Aaron Rodgers didn't even play in the game. Now, everyone who's listening to the show, I'm high on Caleb Williams. I think the Bears have completely, to your point, exceeded expectations. The defense, I think, will be the problem why they end up getting let down at the end of the day. They really rely on turnover differential. They're plus 19 in turnover differential. They're actually one of the third worst defenses in the NFL when they don't get a turnover. But the offense has come alive. But if the Bears are to win this game, you start reevaluating the Bears going, oh, wow, maybe we were like, if they get a win against a Philly team in Philly, the defending Super Bowl champions, I know despite everything going on with them, that would be impressive. It would be Caleb Williams' first like real signature win.
All right, we're going to save number 3 for the other side. I did just want to point something out. Sorry for hijacking here, Sammy. Vegas history has just been made, and it could have been John Schaefer, but it wasn't John Schaefer.
What did Big Shave do?
It wasn't John. $22.4 million was won earlier today on a 20-cent bet on a slot machine.
Oh, what
John
casino?
Schaefer. I don't. One of the MGM properties. I don't know.
Where's? Oh my!
John Schaefer. It could have been you.
John, get your ass down there.
$22 million on a 20-cent bet.
Honestly, though, with John, would we even know if he won it? Like, don't you feel like Schaefer's the kind of guy that would put up a Swiss offshore account, just put all of his money,
and he would just keep going to work?
Yeah, he'd still show up to work Monday, talking about the Aztecs and Ken Palm and where they're ranked. Meanwhile, he's off living in the Bahamas and, with his mansions all over the place.
Yeah, John would he'd keep calling games. He'd probably sign on with a minor league baseball team somewhere, just traveling on a bus.
This may be offensive, but I don't think vegans should be able to win jackpots because they won't be able to appreciate the high-end steakhouses like the rest of us would. I mean, it'd be such a waste of money.
No, Sammy, that may have been the smartest thing you've ever said in your life. And look, it's not like there was a super high bar to clear, but my God, vegans shouldn't be allowed to win jackpots or lottery. That is genius, and I agree wholeheartedly.
We're gonna start selling merch with that on it soon.
If you're rich, you have a responsibility to eat the finest foods.
Yeah, and it's not kale. Kale isn't rich people food.
You have a responsibility to drink stuff other than kombucha. John Schaefer, wealth would be wasted on him. Which is why it's great he works in radio. So Here we go. Shafee, don't worry. You're down there with the rest of us for the rest of your life. We love it. It's San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here. Big 3, number 3 on the other side. Get your comments in on YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. We would love to hear from you today. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. John Schaefer will take over then. Been an eventful couple of days out in Las Vegas for John Schaefer with the Aztecs loss on Monday night against Michigan, and then their win last night over Oregon. They got another big one tonight. It's against Baylor. It's always strange to me, these 3 games in 3 day stretches for college basketball players, because you only see it at some of the most important times of the season. Like, you only see it in these big nationally televised non-conference tournaments, and then in the Mountain West Conference tournament is the only time all year long you get this type of experience.
Well, it kind of benefits the young guys because they're used to playing in this in the AAU circuit where you're playing 3 games a day, 4 games a day, back to back to back. Whereas the college guys have been there for years. They're not really used to that.
God, I hated AAU. I mean, I really enjoyed going through the whole thing, and like, it cost a lot of money for my parents to put me through the whole thing. So I appreciate it in a big way. But by the time game 2 was over and you started game 3,
you're like, let's get out of here, man.
Do I really need to run more? Like, this is
especially when you're me and you would be riding the bench. And so you're like, you know what? My ass print is getting really listen, I gotta change. I mean, this is a whole thing going on. I didn't just drive up here to Garden Grove to sit on the bench.
At least you're like 6'5". Imagine my parents looking at me, chubby, 6 foot tall, like not fast, not really all that athletic, can't really jump high.
But you give heart though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the hustle guy.
You're the hustle guy.
If there's gonna be someone taking a charge or diving on the floor, it's Ben Fletcher. But they were like, this kid, we're gonna put him in AAU. I used to rate. People would always talk about their high school glory days, be like, oh, I scored 20 against Cathedral and stuff. I would rank the schools based on who had the most comfortable seats. Like LCC had a great cushion on it. Like, I mean, it was fantastic. And then we go Cathedral Catholics gym. Come on,
dude. Them rich kids up there, man. Seriously, dude. I mean, they went. That thing was like a damn leather recliner.
Would you talk about how good the Gatorade water, tasted?
Yeah, seriously. And then you go to we play like Poway or something. And they give us these rock hard chairs. Like, this sucks, man.
Sammy Long.
Character building.
That's good stuff, man. All right. SDFC plays this Saturday. They got the Vancouver Whitecaps from up in Canada.
I like that. I like your little Canadian impression.
My brother lived in Canada for 6 years, so we got a bunch of Canadian friends now. So I got the accent a little bit.
Have you been to Vancouver?
Not Vancouver. I've been to a little town called Lethbridge, which is it's east of Calgary a little bit. It's an awesome place. And honestly, Canada's pretty cool, but I like to make fun of it.
Yeah, we went to, because when I lived in Seattle, we'd cross over to do a little weekend trip to Vancouver, and they refer to America as the other side, which I wasn't too thrilled about.
Yeah, the Upside Down. Stranger Things, new drop coming tomorrow night. Can't wait for it.
Oh, right. 5:00 tonight, actually.
Tomorrow, right?
No, it's tonight.
It is not tonight.
Yes, it is.
It is. No, it's Thanksgiving Day.
I thought it was tonight.
It's Thanksgiving. I'm wrong about that,
I'm checking it right now.
Oh, tonight just gets weirder and weirder and weirder. If we're going to the Upside Down tonight, don't get me started, Sammy Long. But SDFC plays Saturday night, 6:00 at Snapdragon Stadium. Having home field advantage for this team has been massive. What?
5:00 tonight.
No shot. Dude.
Season 5. Look on my Netflix account. Season 5 Wednesday at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Pacific. Yep.
Tonight
is Wednesday.
Okay, for weeks now I've been thinking Thanksgiving Day. I'm shocked right now.
No, they gotta have everyone's gonna be watching tonight, getting ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow they're gonna be busy.
That's chaos. That is truly insane. That you just blew my mind right now. So home field advantage for SDFC has been massive for them all season long. They've played very well at Snapdragon Stadium. This game sold out within 20 minutes or something like that. So congratulations to SDFC on everything they've accomplished so far this year. Job's not done yet. It's weird when you talk about, we were just talking about the Bears with that playing with house money kind of. That's all fine and dandy until you get there.
Right. And then you're like, I want to win this.
Might as well go win this mother effer, right? So SDFC 2 games away, potentially having to take down Lionel Messi in the process. This has potential to be some of the biggest moments in San Diego sports history over the next week and a half.
And we had talked about, people had kind of talked about, obviously, Messi is not only the most famous soccer player in the world, but a brand, a worldwide, one of the most famous people on this planet.
Sure.
So when he comes to the MLS, and the MLS is a growing sport, but we all know the MLS is not the NFL in America, and so they're trying to sell Messi. They're trying to go, hey, to get you in. People know Messi's name, but Anders Dreyer, a lot of people felt, should have been the MVP this year, and he has been that guy that if his name was bigger, he probably should be getting it.
Or if Messi just didn't exist,
or Messi didn't exist. So you're looking at potential final against Miami. I mean, that is just like, I mean, it's like a Hollywood ending that writes itself. Now you got to get past Vancouver. That's obviously no gimme. Don't want to look ahead here, but sets up some real cinema for possibly a week from now.
I can't wait, man. It's going to be cool. Now, D. Smith said it on the broadcast, I think, of the last game. He was like, if you would have written this script out, no one would buy it.
No, it was like, we talked to all the guys before the season.
Yeah.
And you and I got off air. We're like, man, we're so stoked for this team. But honestly, like, when they say we're going to go win the whole thing, we're like, yeah, okay. And then they're actually one of the final four teams. It's crazy, the expectations that have been just met and carried on throughout the year, and the bar keeps getting raised, and Coach Mikey Varas and crew just keep meeting it week in, week out.
I've been trying to pull connections to get to this game on Saturday night, and of course I'm silly and missed the window to buy tickets, and they sold out too quick. So,
yeah, it was what, 10 a.m. today?
Yeah, I'm still working on figuring out a way to get me, my wife, and my father-in-law there Saturday.
Where's
night.
B-Dub at?
I know. B-Dub, you listening? Mike Usher, how about you? That'd be cool. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Take a quick break here. Let's take our first look at what's coming up in the NFL over the next few days. That's next. Plus, Mike Shields already has a new job. How about that retirement,
Mikey.
huh? Must be nice. How was Cabo, Mike? It's San Diego Sports 760. You're listening live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by Total Wine and More. Baylor taking on San Diego State tonight, 7:30, live from Las Vegas after San Diego State got a win over Oregon last night, 97-80. Aztecs are currently 2.5-point dogs. The point total is set at 148.5. Hear that game right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 7:30 with Schaefer on the call Fletch Show gets you going on the pregame starting at 6:30. In the Lake Show, take down the Clippers last night, 135-118 to clinch their NBA Cup group play. They'll be back Friday against the Dallas Mavericks, Friday at 7 o'clock, live from Crypto in LA. November is all about gathering, Friendsgiving, Thanksgiving, and football weekends. Total Wine & More has thousands of wines, beers, and spirits at the lowest prices. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly and be 21.
Shout out to our buddy Quacked On Padres, who made Sammy a meme a little bit earlier today.
Quacked On
has the quote, "Rich people can't be vegan," up on X right now.
Where do I see this? Did Quack post this?
Yeah, he tagged us in it. You can find it at Fletch and Sammy, which is where any of you could go interact with us. But Sammy, that wasn't what you said. What did you say? Vegan people can't hit jackpots, something like that?
I said, vegan people should not be allowed to win jackpots. But this is fantastic. Rich people can't be vegan. Honestly, it's a little bit more, it's a little tighter. It's a little bit more compact. Quacked On, I think, had a good update to it.
Quacked, it was nice. That's almost like borderline getting offensive, though, and where if someone heard that, they might take offense. I say wealth is wasted on the vegans.
But that's...
It's just a more roundabout way of saying the exact same thing.
So, okay, so if you're vegan and you're very rich, like rich people, you always see rich people at steakhouses,
sure,
fancy wine bars, cocktail bars, ordering $300 bottles of wine for no reason because the waiter sold it to them. What do you spend on if you're vegan? Like
tofu.
what would John Schaefer spend his money on? Like
vegan food is expensive as hell. Like have you ever gone grocery shopping at like a Whole Foods or a Sprouts where they sell a lot of that stuff? It ain't cheap. Like tofu is expensive. If you're looking at dinner for one tonight and you go out and say, I want hamburger meat or I want tofu, whatever that is, the tofu is going to run you a lot more money. And I promise, like I have a lot of vegan friends somehow. I work in the same building as three of them on a daily basis.
Who is vegan?
John Fink, John Schaefer, Cat Fisher.
John Fink's got too much muscle to be vegan.
John Fink's like 9 feet tall and he's a complete vegan. He's the actually most hardcore vegan of all of them. Like I think John will eat sushi. He'll eat fish. Cat will too.
The thing with John though is all of you who are John Jim fans have watched him eat Dave's Hot Chicken, and it was like a transcendent experience for Schaefer.
I saw John Schaefer eat an In-N-Out burger one time.
Devour it.
And I swear to God, his face changed. It's like different. He looked healthier in the moment. He looked more American in the moment.
There was a bald eagle that came soaring by.
And I'm like, John, this is how you could be living your life on a daily basis.
First off, Schaefer needs, like, we love Schaefer, but he needs a little muscle on him. He needs a little protein. First off, the Pilgrims, speaking of Thanksgiving tomorrow, the Pilgrims back then weren't just eating grass all day. They were cutting up a bird.
Thank you, Sammy. You get it. You get it. And that's what I appreciate about you, Sammy Long. I really do.
Shout out to Quacked On Padres, our guy. That's fantastic.
Shout out, Quack. Thank you for being here, brother. Happy busiest travel day of the year, by the way. If you're in your car driving around, stuck on the 15, as I'm sure it's already starting to get backed up, welcome in. Hang out with us for a while. Kick the shoes off. Keep the hands on the wheel. But thank you for being here. We do appreciate it. All right. So Mike Schilt, you might have heard us talk about this, tease it a little bit. Mike Schilt was the manager of the Padres for the last 2 years. Mike Schilt kind of out of nowhere, quote, retired. End quote, right? He retired at the end of this last baseball season. That retirement lasted, how long has it been, Sammy? Has it been a month and a half?
A month and a half, 2 months.
Month and a half, 2 months. Mike Schilt's retirement has come to an end. He has taken a job with the Baltimore Orioles as one of their player development guys. He has some long, lengthy title that I don't really care to read. But the fact of the matter is this restarts a bunch of fun conversations that Padre fans had at the time of his so-called retirement, that Padre fans have continued to have. Now, I look at this one of two ways, right? Either A, and we can lean into the conspiracy theory that Mike Schilt was pushed out, and that certainly wouldn't be the first time or the last time we see that happen in the world of sports, where a manager gets said, hey, Mike, we're going to say you're retired, okay? How about that? But get lost and kick bricks. Or Mike Schilt made the decision, and look, this is just speculation here. Mike Schilt said, being the manager of the Padres is cool. Dealing with everything that surrounds being the Padres manager is not very cool. So I'm going to retire. I'm going to go take a job that has a lot less eyeballs, a lot less microphones, a lot less everything, and make maybe a little bit less money. But I'm going to go out into Baltimore and kind of disappear for a while because, man, this is not good for my brain, whatever's happening here. Padre fans, I love you, and I think you're fantastic. And I love that you hold this team accountable and that you are out there spending your money.
That's the only way to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Spending your money, your hard earned money on going to Padres games, supporting the team when you're happy and getting pissed at the team when you're mad. However, I would imagine if I'm in Mike Shilt's chair, I'd get pretty sick of it too at times, of like the constant questioning of everything you say, of the constant ragging on everything you do. So if you're Mike Schilt, some people just aren't built to handle it. Like there are certain people who can, and it just bounces off your back. There's certain people who can't.
The funny thing is, though, is I think like San Diego cares about their team and holds them accountable. Thank God he didn't go to New York or something.
Seriously.
I mean, if he thinks San Diego's rude to him, I mean, go play for Aaron Boone will lose 2 games in a row, and they're like, fire him.
So there's a difference though, right? It's pressure from the fan base, pressure from the media. And I would say in San Diego, you don't get a whole lot of pressure from the media. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, the media is very kind to the Padres.
And there's just less of the media in San Diego than there is in other places. And it's just different. And that's the only way you can say it. It's the difference between being market size 19, being market size 1 in New York or even in LA. So it's one thing if you hear me and Sammy, who we have no problem talking some schmack about the San Diego Padres when it's
we like to hold them accountable like the rest of the fans in San Diego.
Of course. But if you're in New York, there's 75 people doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Easy.
Yeah, minimum. And not to mention nationwide, there's more people doing that. But for Mike Shildt, it's a very unique set of circumstances. Yeah, it might be easier to have a conversation with the media in San Diego. But if you are to go online and do that doom scroll, there is 10, 15,000 Padre fans who are in your mentions and you're talking about your name, your family every single night. Like that's a tough situation to be in. And being in such a tighter knit community that San Diego is, these are people you may see at the grocery store. So there's a possibility, and I'm not saying this is what happened, that Mike Shildt said, man, this job is seeming to come with a lot of stuff that I didn't sign up
so
for.
I'm just curious because usually, so let's go with what it looks like. He obviously had the whole I'm retiring, which no one believed. You're 57 and you're like, you have a long baseball career ahead of you. You're really going to retire from baseball right now. Then of course, the next day, Kevin Acee, they have that kind of hit piece article talking about how the coaches hated him and he was an ass to all the coaches and he was way too hard on them. Now all of a sudden he's with the Orioles 2 months later. It's interesting to me why the Padres would because usually if you're going to give a guy the grace to say they retire, you see this a lot with veteran players, veteran coaches who have done amazing things for franchises. They allow them to kind of exit and be like, hey, you're going to be fired, but we want to give you the ability to kind of go out in your own terms. The fan base loves you. Because
imagine saying you're firing Mike Shildt after he went back-to-back 90+ win seasons and back-to-back postseason appearances,
which is interesting. But I think there was also a lot of frustration around Mike Shildt because the talent on this roster, I think people somewhat expected that because of what had been built the last few years. It was kind of the last few years have been different from, oh my God, it's cool the Padres are even in this thing to, hey, no, we expect to be in this thing and we want to actually do some damage in this thing like they were able to do in 2022. It's odd to me that they allow him the ability to retire, kind of give him that grace without firing him. Then they put a hit piece out on him the next day. And clearly he wasn't going to retire from baseball because he's back in baseball, making a lot less money at a lot lower position with the Baltimore Orioles. Who,
to be fair, we don't know how much less money. I would imagine it's less. I don't know if it's that much less. Like there's a lot of money around baseball. Now, door number C, probably the most likely door for opening up all these things. Mike Shildt got word that the Padres might be sold and he's decided to get out while the getting was good.
I agree.
That is, I think Mike Shildt saying, hey, this might be going in a bad direction with ownership and who knows what the next group coming in is going to do. So I'm just going to get out now and retire for a few months. And then I'm going to go pick up another job somewhere else.
Right. 3 years from now, 2-3 years from now, Mike Shilt's going to go, hey, I took the Padres to back-to-back postseasons.
Not to mention right before that, I took a couple years off in between, but I was with the Cardinals.
I wanted to step away, mental health, family time, and now I'm ready to which I think you hit it on the head. I think that's probably where it was going. It just is odd to me that they would give him the grace to kind of retire and not fire him. But then everything we've heard in the media from the Padres, by the way, this is not us radio hosts or fans online going stirring up stories. Stuff from the organization, people very close to it, basically going, yeah, it was time for him to get out. It's an odd situation, and I think it really goes back to ownership. The fact that they're about to sell the team. AJ Preller is at press conferences, having to poor AJ Preller having to answer questions as to why he doesn't have a contract, even though he's making business decisions.
Wait, does AJ Preller still not have a contract? Are you kidding me right now?
What is happening with that?
I don't know, man. The Padres are one of those things. They're just confusing. I think back to 3 or 4 years ago when Peter Seidler was still alive and was still talking about this team, and everything about this team was just going in such a positive direction. And now it just feels very empty and hollow. And it's frustrating as someone who's followed them so closely over the last 10 years of my life, like really diving into what the Padres are, seeing them going from bad to great to whatever to great. This is tough to watch right now. I'll be completely honest, but we'll see. Whoever the next owner is has a big job, has a big responsibility, and has a lot of people in San Diego that I would be hard pressed to say, do not let these people down, because man, have they poured their support
because
into the club.
they show up for you.
Sure.
The fans show up for you every night. So it's time that you show up for them in a way that is not just, hey, we're putting butts in seats in terms of hardware.
It's going to be interesting to see, man. The hope is that it's a great owner who comes in and is willing to commit to this team and kind of adopts the Peter Seidler mentality. I don't have a ton of faith that that's what it's going to be, but I have hope that it will be. All right, coming up next, long shots. How did we do last night?
Not the greatest night.
Okay, we won't even acknowledge.
We won't even. You know what? It was an off night.
Brand new one coming up now, and this one's going to have to carry us for a couple days here, Sam.
We have a lot to choose from. Guess what? I'm going to make sure everyone, while you're eating your Thanksgiving dinner, while you're sitting there grubbing on some ham, drinking some wine, whatever you're doing, you're going to have some action on every single game tomorrow.
I love that. That's next. Also next, SeaWorld tickets, 4 of them will be given away right after long shots at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Let's see if I can do all this right. Play-by-play coming up on San Diego Sports 760. Coming up later tonight, 6:30 pregame, 7:30 tip-off, San Diego State and Baylor. Coming up tomorrow, Thanksgiving Day, we got Chiefs, Cowboys on our station starting at 1 o'clock. Coming up Friday, San Diego State taking on New Mexico in Albuquerque, 12:30 kick time, 10:30 pregame with myself and JR Tolver. And then on Saturday, it's SDFC taking on the Vancouver Whitecaps, 6 o'clock kick at Snapdragon Stadium. Sammy, did I miss anything?
I think you got it all.
I think that was all off the top of the head. Is it safe to assume that the Kansas City Chiefs may play a factor in long shots coming up here in just a minute?
They are going to be playing a factor in long shots. I don't normally like betting player props on my team.
Sure.
But I feel very confident about one of these picks, and I don't want to let the betting public of San Diego down because of a personal preference.
I like the way you're talking right now. All right, we got SeaWorld tickets right after long shots, but you got to sit through some incredible advice from one Sammy Long. Sammy, smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know.
Time to take a chance.
Pay that man his money.
With long shots.
Say that man is money.
Fletch, I have 6 picks for the next 4 games.
Don't splash the chips.
Don't splash the box.
You should be eating an Oreo every time you do long shots.
He goes, what's the he said, you spot a man's tail, you don't say a blanket word.
Never.
But I don't have that kind of time.
Not once, not ever. Where are you going, Sammy?
So
6 picks? That's too much.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you. So I have a pick for all 3 games tomorrow on Turkey Day, as well as the Black Friday game on Friday. I have 6 picks. How many do you want? Do you want 4 or do you want 6?
What if we do 2 separate 3-pick entries? One now, one at 145.
Oh, I love the way you're talking. You know what? It's Turkey Day. We're thankful. We're thankful for the
we're off the next couple of days. We want people to have multiple lineups here.
Yeah, we're thankful for the people, for all our listeners. So you know what? We're gonna be gifting you 2 lineups today. So, all right, so we're gonna do a 3-picker right now, and we'll do another one later. All right,
one of them's got to hit, right? It's just simple math, simple logic.
What if both of them hit?
What if? Let's hit it.
All right, Detroit, Green Bay. Jamison Williams, more than 49.5 receiving yards. Tell you why. Dan Campbell takes over play calling. 119 receiving yards against Washington. 88 against Philly. Against the Giants, he didn't do much. But Jamison Williams, more than 49.5 receiving yards. This is divisional matchup. I think everyone's going to be enticed with Jahmyr Gibbs. You saw Jahmyr Gibbs shred the New York Giants, and Jahmyr Gibbs is a fantastic player. I'm not taking anything away from him. Division games, they know each other well. They stop the run, and they're going to be taking away your best player. So I think Jahmyr Gibbs is not as big of a factor in this game. Jamison Williams taking advantage of that number 2 corner slot for the Green Bay Packers. I think in Detroit, I am very high. If you're betting a spread or a money line, I'm very high on the Lions minus 3.5. I actually think the Lions put on a show tomorrow on Thanksgiving. They typically play pretty well on Turkey Day. Jamison Williams, though, everything's gonna be going at Jahmyr Gibbs, and then at Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jamison Williams gonna be open for some deep shots down the sideline. Remember, on Turkey Day, because they know everyone's watching, they know there's gonna be millions and tens of millions of people watching. Dan Campbell. Every team usually pulls out a few trick plays. Jamison Williams is usually the deep shot in a lot of those trick plays.
Do the Lions usually play well on Turkey Day? Because I feel like for the first 20 years of my life, every Thanksgiving, I just watched the Lions get their asses kicked.
The last like 5 years. There were some years there where it was pretty rough when it was Dan Orlovsky and crew. It was like,
so the Goff years, it's been good.
Goff years, it's been good. But so anyway, again, Turkey Day, you got to look out for that. They do run a lot of trick plays. It's kind of like a little bit of the Super Bowl because they know some people are watching. There's always some fun stuff in the morning. Dan Campbell's going to pull out all the stops. Jamison Williams, more than 49.5 receiving yards against that Green Bay secondary. All right, on to Dallas, Kansas City. Again, I don't normally like betting my boys. Rashee Rice, though. There are 2 former Dallas born and bred in Patrick Mahomes and Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice played at SMU. Rashee Rice coming off a 141-yard receiving performance against the Indianapolis Colts. Now, he got most of that in the second half. He actually had a pretty rough first half, dropped a few balls. But since he's come back from his suspension, 93 yards against Washington, 80 against Buffalo. Denver did a good job of neutralizing him at 38, but the offense was completely dreadful that day. 141 against Indianapolis. I think Mahomes and Rashee, I think this is a high-scoring game. I expect Dak, Pickens, and CD and crew to bring it. But I think Mahomes, they found something in that fourth quarter and overtime. You saw what they were doing. Mahomes started moving around the pocket a little bit. The first half, he was really jumping against the Colts. He kept rushing up in the pocket and not seeing the field. He calmed down in pressure time. They've been in a lot of these situations before. I think Rashee Rice has a big, big day, especially with the Chiefs. The Chiefs had a good running game against the Colts, but Kareem Hunt had 30 carries last week. I don't expect it to happen again. Pacheco is back for this game. I think this is an aerial assault for both teams.
You nervous about it?
I get nervous for every game.
Yeah, but extra nervous for this one because the Cowboys seem to have figured some stuff out.
I think it's going to be a phenomenal football game. I'm rolling my guys, but the Dallas is a formidable opponent.
Cowboys money line, hammer it. What's next?
Oh, really? First off, we're getting Shador in hour 2 against your Niners. Well, we're going to save that. All right.
Think I'm scared of Shador Sanders?
Just wait.
I am.
Hey, by the way, don't let us come in on Monday and Shador Sanders beats the Niners. You should be sick that day.
I have COVID.
We're going to go for a little bit. You're going to be like, Sammy, who? If you're not a diehard NFL fan, there's actually an all-receiver parlay going on. We're going to the night game. Bengals, Ravens, Andre Yoshivas. Sammy, who is that? Who the hell is Andre Yoshivas? Number 2 receiver for the Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins banged his head off the turf last Sunday. He's coming. He has a concussion. He will be missing this game against Baltimore. Baltimore's defense, the secondary, has been really bad this year. A lot of that is due to a lot of injuries. Nate Wiggins been in and out of the lineup. Matt Abike and that pass rush hasn't been there for most of the year. So it's not entirely their unit's fault. But Yoshivas was really kind of coming on last year as a rookie, but then kind of stalled. This is why it didn't really make sense to me why you would sign T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Let Yoshivas just really kind of come out of nowhere and kind of become that number 2 receiver. Joe Burrow, though, has loved Yoshivas when he has played. He had 61 receiving yards against New England. I know this was Joe Flacco. 66 against Chicago. But Andre Yoshivas is always the check down guy for Burrow when he was there last year. I think Yoshivas as the number 2 playing from behind against the Baltimore Ravens, more than 33.5 receiving yards. So to recap, all receiver parlay, Jamison Williams, 49.5 receiving yards, more than against Green Bay. Rashee Rice showing out in his hometown in Dallas, more than 76.5 receiving yards. Andre Yoshivas, 33.5 receiving yards, more than. All the attention is going to be going to Jamar Chase. I think he's going to have a big day with Burrow back in the fold tomorrow night.
Didn't Rashee Rice also get arrested in Texas? Yeah, it was in Dallas.
Yeah, he's got some stuff to prove, baby.
He's got lots of memories from there.
Hey, listen, what's in the past is in the past. We don't need to worry about what happened in the past.
That's where Rashee Rice, he was speeding down a freeway.
He was so excited to get to the game. He just went a little bit over the speed limit. Everyone's done it.
With a ton of marijuana in the back of his car.
Listen, if it was California, it'd be legal.
I don't think the amount he had would have been legal even in California.
Are there limits on how much weed you can have in California?
I think there are, yeah.
There's dispensaries where there's...
I mean, I'm not a cop, but dispensaries have licenses and stuff.
Please, if you're a enforcer of the law, if you want to hop on our YouTube chat, our text line is down right now, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd be reading your text. If you want to hop on San Diego Sports 760, let us know for Fletch's purposes, because Fletch, I
have a truck. I don't even have a trunk.
So how much could he stuff in the back without getting pulled over?
There's got to be a limit, right?
I mean, I think if you're transporting,
we're going to see Sammy by the dumpster right after work today, just shoveling out of the backseat of his car. All right, right now, your opportunity to win a 4-pack of tickets.
It's the giving season.
SeaWorld San Diego. We are giving you a prize here. 4 tickets, SeaWorld San Diego, can be used between now and the time they take down the Christmas decoration. So get ready for it. Caller number what?
Let's do 15.
15, 877-767-4760. Caller 15, you're getting 4 tickets to SeaWorld. Enjoy that. That is our gift to you. We love you guys being here, and we love every single one of you, so thank you. Hour number 2 is coming up next. Steve Hartman going to be jumping on. We'll see what Steve wants to scream about today. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is furnished by Genuine. San Diego State coming off a big win yesterday over Oregon, 97-80. They were taking on Baylor today. Baylor is currently a 2.5-point favorite in Vegas. That game is currently at 7, or will happen at 7:30. Schaefer will be on the call right here on San Diego Sports 760, and then of course Fletch will get you going with the pregame starting at 6:30 tomorrow. San Diego Sports 760 is going to have Chiefs Cowboys starting at 1:00 with the pregame. Game gets going at 1:30, and then of course SDFC taking on Vancouver, trying to head to the MLS Cup at 6:00 on Saturday night. SDFC is currently plus 125 on the money line to do so. You can hear that game on San Diego Sports 760. This report has been furnished by Genuine.
Busy hour number 2 here coming up on San Diego Sports 760. We've just been alerted by the powers that be. We have another 4-pack of tickets to give away to SeaWorld San Diego.
Oh, my man.
How about a big shout out? What was his name?
Dude, Max. Max is our guy, dude. He won tickets, and he's offering us to go out to his course, and he works at a golf course and play around.
Is it Carlton Oaks, a legacy golf course here in San Diego, an excellent spot. Great cocktails from the bar cart out there.
You know what? I asked Max on the phone. I was like, are you a stick on the course? And he's very very like, I get out there. I'm like, that's the answer of a guy who definitely shoots in the 70s.
For sure. Max would love to come out, man. I love Carlton Oaks. Been out there a few times here since I've lived in San Diego, and it's an awesome spot, man. They just rearranged everything. They actually moved one of the nines, I want to say, last time I was out there, which was a couple years ago now, but they moved one of the nines and totally redid it. It looks fantastic. So congratulations and shout out Carlton Oaks legacy course here in San Diego.
Man.
All right, San Diego Sports 760. Steve Hartman coming up in about 30 minutes. We'll talk to Steve about the NFL games coming up. We'll talk to Steve about LeBron James and the Lakers. I'm sure he has lots of thoughts on everything that's going down. But right now, I do want to sit down for a second and focus on San Diego State Hoops, who tonight they're going to be taking on Baylor. Now, Baylor is it 4 years, 2021, they won the national championship game against Gonzaga.
Yep.
That Gonzaga team that everyone said was unbeatable, and Baylor just went in and bullied them. Baylor's strategy has not changed. I got to watch some of their game yesterday. Baylor is an extremely physical team. San Diego State, look, a lot of the problems that Michigan causes, which is height and kind of just bully ball offensive rebounding, Baylor prides themselves on a lot of the same things. So San Diego State should be ready for it. But when you step back and look at the larger picture, San Diego State went from like 56 up to 45 in terms of KenPom yesterday after that Oregon win, beating Oregon by 17 points. That's because they were dogged in the game. I haven't seen the spread yet on tonight's game. Do you have it, Sammy?
2.5 favored for Baylor.
That sounds about right to me, if I'm being completely honest. So San Diego State has another one of those opportunities to have another big catapult, like John Schaefer would say, jump in the metrics, like normal human beings would say. San Diego State has that opportunity coming up here tonight, taking on Baylor. And this is a situation where coaching becomes so damn important when you have 3 games in 3 days like this, because while the players last night are recovering, getting fluids, eating a big meal before they go to bed, and hopefully resting up for a big game tonight, coaches don't sleep at all on these 3 games in 3 days situations. Coaches are immediately watching every ounce of film they can get on Baylor, immediately figuring out what the strategy is going to be, because you had days and weeks and months where you knew it was going to be Michigan, then Oregon. You've had exactly 24 hours since beating Oregon last night, understanding you're going to be playing Baylor tonight. So San Diego State, I do like to think, has the advantage in those situations because the coaching staff with the Mountain West tournament, with everything they do all year, is very good at these quick turnarounds. And historically under Brian Dutcher, the Aztecs have been fantastic in quick turnaround games. Looking forward to tonight in a big way, man.
Well, you hit on the head in that favors San Diego State. Anytime you have a great coach like Brian Dutcher, who is, renowned among one of the best coaches in the country, and hangs their hat on defense. Like that's something like when coaches that hang their hat on offense, it can be very streaky. Like when it's great, it's great. And when it's bad, you can't hit water if you fell out of a boat. It doesn't look so good. I think what we saw, Michigan and Troy were able to kind of crack that Dutcher defense in the first 2 weeks, or, in the last week. And you're going kind of like, what's going on? Like Dutcher, I heard John say it on his show yesterday. It's very true. Like if the problem is defense for San Diego State, that's not going to be a problem because they're going to get that wired in. Like that's something that's going to, and look, last night you held them to 80. Now I know that in college basketball, that'd be kind of on the higher end, but if you're dropping 97, it's going to be all working out. So I think also in terms of just vibes going forward, like you had everyone's very excited for this tournament. You get shocked by Troy. No one really saw that coming. And then you have a terrible start against Michigan. You have a nice win last night. If you're able to beat Baylor, then I think you look at the week and go, okay, we had a bad 7 days, and you're able to go, we beat a big time school in Oregon. We beat a big time school in Baylor. And honestly, playing Michigan 2 nights ago, even though it was an ugly game, it was tough to watch. Like the fact that they are one of the best, if not the best front court in the country in terms of big men. Now you're playing Baylor, that's kind of what they hang their hat on. Not quite as well as Michigan, but that's what they want to do. I'm curious to see if we're still seeing a lot of Miles Heide, Farrell Compton to go along with Magoon Guath. The fact that Guath has 3 games under his belt probably is the best thing that ever happened when you're taking on a team that you really need to dominate in the post.
Everything you just said, I agree with wholeheartedly, except for one thing. So Troy cracked the San Diego State defense, and Troy, the way they play is always going to be a problem for a team that doesn't switch because Troy just moves so much. Michigan and Oregon really didn't. San Diego State was great defensively. They just gave up so many damn second chance opportunities that Michigan, that's where they made all of their hay on Monday night. It was Michigan getting offensive rebounds after San Diego State would force a bad shot and getting an easy shot. And then Oregon last night, there was a real opportunity for San Diego State to win that game by 30. But towards the end of the second half, Oregon started getting those second chance shots as well. So that's one thing early in the season. If you're putting up the biggest red flag on this Aztecs basketball team, defensive rebounding is not up to where it needs to be right now. And even Ryan Bagatelli, who's one of the Aztecs assistants, last night joined John Schaefer after the game and John asked him, he was like, are you a little more pleased with the rebounding effort tonight than you were last night? And obviously it's a 17-point game. You win the game, and you did rebound better in the first half. And Ryan's literal answer was not words. It was, because he's not, and he shouldn't be. San Diego State needs to be better defensive rebounding, and that's been the biggest problem for them early in the season. All right, let's get to the big 3 here of hour number 2. We got a busy week in San Diego sports coming up. But Sammy, go ahead, smash it.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big 3.
That is one of the most frustrating things in sports, isn't it? When you play good defense on someone and then they just get a demoralizing wide open 3-pointer coming off of a rebound.
Yeah, or they're like, there's nothing coming back the other way. It's like you're getting stops that you had to get.
Yeah.
And the Aztecs offense was just basically everyone outside of LZ Harrington was kind of MIA, but we'll see if they can
against Michigan. Last night
against Michigan.
Fire.
We're gonna get to the story. We were meant to get this last hour. So Shedeur Sanders now making his second start. He said today he is, quote, not comfortable and wants to remain QB1. He has, been listed as a starter over Dylan Gabriel, even though Dylan Gabriel has been cleared. But guess who he's playing on Sunday? He's playing Fletch's 49ers. Now, Fletch, I know you're going to be rooting for Shedeur's downfall because obviously it's your team. But what do you need to see from Shedeur Sanders to go on Sunday to go, okay, wow, there's something here. Maybe he's a starting quarterback going forward.
It's kind of weird headspace for me to get into, Sammy.
No, I understand. I understand. You don't want him to do well. But what does he have to do to your Niners defense that you're going to sit there and go, wow, okay, that's actually impressive?
Okay, so last week he played against the Raiders. I want to say, like, everybody who's getting high on Shedeur Sanders right now, he did it against the Las Vegas Raiders. Can we be very clear about that? And that's great. And you should. Good for you, man. That was awesome. You outperformed my expectations, certainly, and expectations of a lot of people. This weekend, it's a completely different story. The Niners are battling for a wild card spot in the NFC. The Niners need a win. If Shedeur Sanders can go out there and keep this game close, then I'm thinking, yeah, Shedeur Sanders is probably your starter. If he can make this to where I'm sweaty in the second half, me, Ben Fletcher, sweaty, sitting on my couch, then yeah, Shedeur Sanders probably deserves to be the starting quarterback in Cleveland. Because guess what? Cleveland has the defense. That's what I'm worried about in this game. I'm worried about Myles Garrett, who's averaging like 4 sacks a game this year or something ridiculous. He's been insane. That's what the Niners are worried about right now. They're really not worried about Shedeur Sanders, I don't think. So if he goes out there and all of a sudden he gives you something to worry about, Shedeur Sanders is the starting quarterback.
Well, I think for the rest of this season, Shedeur should be the starting quarterback no matter what. Because even if he goes out there and puts up a stinker against the Niners, because listen, I never believed in Dylan Gabriel. I'm sorry. Like, if you're a Dylan Gabriel fan, I know Jay Riff, who's on later, he loves him because he played at Oregon. But he had one of the most stacked rosters in the league in the entire college football with Oregon. He had one of the best tackles, great receivers. He ran up against a real defense last year in Ohio State. and it was terrible. His performance, he doesn't have an NFL type athletic tool set. He doesn't have a big arm. He's not super fast, not super mobile. Like, he is a college quarterback. Shedeur has the ability to be a guy who could be a big time quarterback. Again, he played one start against the Raiders. Now, I will give him credit because it was on the road, but the Raiders are on defense barely a football team outside of Max Crosby. But still, going on the road, everyone's watching the game because they want to see if this guy's going to suck. I do have to give him some credit for it. Now, Robert Saleh on this defense, despite all the injuries, is a different beast. I mean, look what he did to Bryce Young in the Panthers offense, who the Panthers offense actually had been humming up until this point and had put up some pretty big numbers on some pretty good teams so far this season. Robert Saleh made him terrible. I'm expecting them to be blitzing the hell out of Shedeur Sanders. If I'm Kevin Stefanski, I'm getting the ball out of his hands fast. Jerry Jeudy's on slants. Quinshon Judkins got to be a big part of this game. But if he goes out there and competes and the offense is decent, like, no matter what happens, he needs to be the quarterback going forward so you see what you have, because I think you've seen enough from Dylan Gabriel. That's just me personally.
Yeah, that's fine. What's next? I do have COVID if the Niners lose on Sunday.
Oh my God. If the Chiefs were to win tomorrow and then the Niners were to lose to the Shedeur, like, I can't, you know what? I don't even want to jinx it because I'm just thankful for life right now.
Dude, I love the Dallas Cowboys so much. They're my favorite team in the NFL.
Oh, Shedeur, baby. I'll be throwing up. What's that thing he does?
There's not been one day in my life, Sammy. There's not been one Thanksgiving of the almost 30 on this earth that I have ever pulled for the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving until this Thanksgiving.
Well, yeah. You do what you need to do.
Do I need to go find a Stephen A. Smith cowboy hat? Whatever that thing he wears is.
Stephen A. Smith hates the Cowboys.
I know, but he always wears that hat every time he's talking about the Cowboys.
Southern Stephen A.
Do I need to smoke a cigar tomorrow? Is that something I have to damage my lungs to be a Cowboys fan?
Speaking of that game.
Speaking of damaging lungs, because our buddy John Silva jumped in on YouTube and said if you have an ounce of marijuana in your car traveling, you are
really
in violation of the law in California.
I'm sure there are some people who are jammed on the 5 going up to Los Angeles or San Diego right now who are listening to this show who are like, wait, what did he say?
That's what John said on YouTube.
Jay Silves looking out for the San Diego public.
So thank you, John. Appreciate you. What's next, Sammy?
We're gonna go to that game. We're going to Cowboys and Chiefs. Mahomes, Dak. Who has to have a bigger game for their team to win? Who's under more pressure between the quarterbacks to have a bigger game for their team to be victorious?
The Kansas City Chiefs. All the pressure in the NFL. The Chiefs have more pressure on them than anyone heading into this week right now. They had the same thing last week. They will have the same thing next week.
But you're saying Mahomes over Dak?
Mahomes over Dak, because the Dallas Cowboys are not a postseason team this year. The Kansas City Chiefs still could be.
If you look, the Cowboys can be a postseason team. If you look at they can lose to the Chiefs tomorrow, and if they can lose one more time and be in the postseason, there is a high percentage of that happening. They can have 2 more losses and have an 80% chance to make the postseason. I'm telling you. You got to look at the Cowboys' schedule.
You say that 2 more losses and have an 80% chance to make the postseason? That's kind of crazy considering as of right now, the Dallas Cowboys currently, according to NFL.com,
they ran through this on First Take this morning.
How is this?
If the Cowboys lose to the Chiefs,
they had like a 10% chance 2 days ago.
I know, but look at their schedule. They have the Chiefs and Lions, tough. Vikings should win there. Chargers completely banged up on the offensive line, should win in Dallas. Washington, terrible. Giants completely hurt. Those final 4 games, they will be favored in all those games. If they can win, if they can beat either the Chiefs or the Lions, they're in the postseason.
So you think the Cowboys can jump the Lions, the Niners, the Bears, the Seahawks, the Packers? You think they could jump the
Lions,
teams?
Bears, all the teams have to play each other. The Lions, Packers, and Bears all have to play each other down the stretches. So they're going to get some losses. If the Cowboys win 5 of 6 games, they will be in the postseason. The trick is, can they beat the Chiefs or can they beat the Lions?
So right now, the Niners hold the final postseason spot in the NFC. They have 8 wins. The Cowboys have 5 wins. You're telling me 2 more losses, they can catch the Niners?
I misspoke. 1 more loss.
Okay, even if it's one more loss.
Yes, if they go 5 of 6 down the stretch. Again, let me read you the schedule.
Of
Chiefs,
course,
Lions.
right now is the time that the stupid NFL.com doesn't have the data up that I need.
Chiefs and Lions going to be 2 tough games. Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants. They will be favored in every single one of those games, final 4 games of the year. You're telling me they can't win 4 straight at the end?
Sure, but I'm saying even if they go undefeated, there's a chance they miss the postseason.
Dallas got a shot. Anyway, both teams got a shot to make playoffs.
The Chiefs have more pressure tomorrow.
Yeah. I agree, because the Chiefs need to string something together. Like the Chiefs, it's one thing. The Chiefs are so hard to look at this year because at times at times they look like, oh, this is the best team in football.
The Dallas Cowboys have a playoff probability of approximately 9 to 10%, according to models like NFL.com and USA Today.
Again, if they win, you got to look at games they're favored in.
If they beat the Chiefs?
If they beat the Chiefs or the Lions, I don't need to read the schedule again. The final 4 games of the season, they are going to be favored in every single one of those games. They should win every single one of those games with a new and improved defense. I know you don't like Dallas, but Dallas could be a playoff. It
doesn't matter if I don't like that. The numbers don't work for what you're saying.
No, but they do if they are supposed to win the games they're favored. You're telling me the Cowboys haven't gotten better since the defensive acquisition?
Sure, they absolutely have.
They're a totally different team than they were a month ago.
But their record is what their record is.
That's fine. But you're telling me Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson, Overshown, all these guys coming back, they are going to be favored in the final 4 games of the season.
Even if they go undefeated in their final 6 games of the season, they might miss the postseason.
You're assuming the Lions and Packers and teams have to play each other. You're assuming your Niners with Purdy throwing 3 interceptions are just going to win out.
Okay. We'll see. You want to put 20
I can't believe I'm defending the Cowboys right now.
You put 20 on it right now that the Dallas Cowboys make the postseason?
Well, okay, you can't take the percentage right now. I'm saying you said there's no chance they're a playoff team. I go, that's not true. They have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
if you look at the schedule, it opens up.
Everything swings right in their favor. They have a chance to make the postseason.
Cowboys are an interesting team to watch. But with the new and improved defense, they are going to be tough. They're going to be favored against a lot of these teams down the stretch. I do think the Chiefs tomorrow, in terms of what quarterback, to the original question, has more pressure on them tomorrow, I would go Dak simply because I think the Chiefs have more pressure to win. Because the Chiefs need to string some games together because it's been too much of this season where the Chiefs look great one week, then they look awful, and you go, but the roster's great. Why are they not winning games? In terms of the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, the defense, despite the fact that they shut the Eagles down the final 3 quarters, they have to win on offense. The Chiefs defense basically won that game against the Colts. The Chiefs shut Daniel Jones and the Colts out the final 4 possessions of the half. I still don't see the Cowboys doing that to the Chiefs. So for tomorrow's game, I'm going to say Dak Prescott has more pressure to be better.
All right. Okay. Steve Hartman.
You got me defending the Dallas Cowboys. It's crazy.
Steve Hartman coming up in 10 minutes. He's going to be talking some NFL with us as we get ready for Turkey Day. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there listening to us right now. If you're stuck in traffic, relax for a little bit with us. It's all right. You'll get where you're going at some point today. The busiest travel day of the year. It is San Diego Sports 760. We do have another 4-pack of San Diego SeaWorld tickets. You're going to have to keep listening to win those live on the iHeartRadio app. Busy next few days coming up here on San Diego Sports 760 tonight. 7:30 tip-off, San Diego State and Baylor in Las Vegas. Pregame will get going at 6:30. Tomorrow, Chiefs, Cowboys. For somehow, Sammy's a big fan of both these teams. That game will be broadcast here.
I'm a realist about the Cowboys' playoff chances.
Yes, but you realize, like, in order for the Cowboys to have playoff chances, they're going to need to beat the Chiefs tomorrow, and somehow you're defending this?
First off, I hope they don't, because I hope they get smacked. I told you, if they win one of the next 2 weeks between the Chiefs and the Lions, and they're going to be favored in every game the final 4 weeks.
Sure.
You said there is no shot they make the playoffs.
There's no shot the Cowboys make the playoffs. There's no shot. Look, the text line last week said you talking about Shador Sanders is setting up your life after Chiefs fandom dies away. This week I'm saying,
not even a Shador Sanders fan. I just got to be
you're a
real
Cowboys
about the
fan
guy.
now. All of a sudden, you're a Cowboys fan.
I am not a Cowboy fan.
Sounds
what I'm
like
saying is you're a Niner fan who hates the Cowboys.
No, only Cowboys fans would be delusional enough to think that this Cowboys team can make the postseason.
By the way, what would be one of the teams that would knock out if the Cowboys made the playoffs?
Niners.
Oh, that's right. The San Francisco 49ers. So I'm bringing a little analysis that is not Bay Area bias. That's another meme. Hey, Quackdown, we can get on that too. Bay Area bias that we can get up to. All right.
Sure, that's what I am. All right. So that game, Cowboys and Chiefs tomorrow, you will hear here on San Diego Sports 760. Now I kind of am a Cowboys fan. I want them to win just to shut
you said there's no chance to make the playoffs.
There's no chance to make the playoffs, even if with the win tomorrow.
I hope they lose tomorrow. What I'm telling you is the defense is completely changed. This is not the same Cowboys team that was 2 months ago.
And then on Friday, San Diego State, the Aztecs football team, has a chance to put themselves into a situation where they are hosting the Mountain West Championship game. They're playing against New Mexico in Albuquerque, 12:30 kickoff on Friday. Saturday, SDFC, Western Conference Finals at Snapdragon Stadium. That game kicks off, first kick at 6 o'clock Saturday night. Busy few days coming up. What are we laughing at now, Sammy?
I don't know. I was just
Sammy, the Cowboys fan. We got to get you a Dak Prescott jersey, or maybe, I don't know, Jason Garrett jersey.
No, I have to be real about the team. I'm not a Cowboy fan. I don't like the Cowboys. I just, being honest, they are a threat in the NFC if they get in.
Can I tell you my theory on why you think the Cowboys are going to be a playoff team?
Why? Because they came back on the Eagles, and I think I'm living bias of the week.
No, I don't think you're biased. I do think that your memory is a little short when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, but also I wake up in the morning and I do a rock radio show. I kind of do all my show prep on my computer. You wake up, what's the first thing you do?
Turn on First Take.
Turn on First Take on ESPN.
And you go work out.
ESPN is not going to say, hey, biggest fan base in the NFL, turn us off here in week 13 because your team's not making the playoffs.
I'm just telling you.
Of course they're going to say the Cowboys have a chance to make the playoffs.
This is not meant to be a Dallas Cowboy pregame show.
If you think Stephen A. Smith really hates the Cowboys, you're smoking something. He has done this to create an audience of people that will hate watch him on a daily basis.
Well, no, it's genius. I'm just saying, you said there is no threat. I said, if the Cowboys are able to win, I said, if one of the next 2 weeks and they win out the remaining part of the season, they have a high likelihood of getting to the postseason. And I honestly think if the Cowboys were to get it, if you look at the teams in the bottom of the
Cowboys aren't even a bubble team right now. They are a fringe playoff team. We got Steve Hartman coming up in just a couple minutes.
We're going to ask Steve.
There were so many things I wanted to talk about today that were not the Dallas Cowboys. And somehow we spent the last 15 minutes arguing about the Dallas Cowboys, who are a 5-win football team. Week 13.
Real quick, before we get to Steve.
5 wins on the season.
Before we get to Steve, let's look at the NFC wildcard picture.
Let's not, because Steve Hartman, we're going to be so late. It's San Diego Sports 760. Steve Hartman's coming up next. A SeaWorld 4-pack of tickets coming up right after that. And then at 1:45, yes, Sammy's second long shots of the day. I'm sure it's just going to be Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams, and what's his name? George Pickens, all overs because, oh my God, Turpin, I love him. It's San Diego Sports 760. Steve Hartman next.
The support is sponsored by Indeed.com. Tonight, Aztecs come off that win against Oregon. They'll be taking on Baylor. The Baylor Bears, they're currently a 2.5-point favorite in that one. That game will be going at 7:30. Schaefer will get you on the call starting then. Fletch will get you on the post game starting at 6:30. And Joe Burrow is officially active, going to be playing when the Bengals take on the Ravens tomorrow night on Thanksgiving. Baltimore is currently a 7-point favorite. T. Higgins will be missing the game with a concussion, though Jamar Chase will be back. Indeed, sponsor jobs gives your job posting a turbo boost. Match with the candidates you're looking for, making your hiring simple. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Again, that's Indeed.com/credit.
San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, recently converted Cowboy fan with you till 2:00 today. John and Jim will take over then, and then I'll be back coming up at 6:30 tonight, getting you ready for Aztecs basketball, taking on Baylor out in Las Vegas. Right now, like he does every week, we bumped him up to Wednesday. Steve Hartman joining the show. Steve, happy Thanksgiving. How are you?
Very happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are going to have a great day tomorrow. Me, I'll be in TV land. This thing about working TV all these years is that I have worked, I would say, all but 2 or 3 Thanksgivings over the last 25 years. So I'm never having Thanksgiving meals with my family, although they do bring a pretty good spread in at the TV station. So that would be my normal Thanksgiving experience.
Well, Steve, enjoy those donuts and everything else that your SAG-AFTRA card gets you, and we'll check in with you after that. But Steve, we have a serious problem here in San Diego, and I think you're the man to solve it. So Sammy Long, look, we love him. We care about him a lot. We really do. But his mind has been infiltrated by the media. And now all of a sudden, Sammy Long is telling me convinced 100% that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be making the postseason this year in the NFL.
I said they have a shot.
Can you please set Sammy straight? Because all of a sudden he's becoming a Cowboys fan. He's like, Chiefs, who cares? Cowboys, let's go.
Okay. Yeah, the Cowboys, no one should be fooled by the Cowboys at all. I mean, what happened in that game against the Eagles was more about what the Eagles didn't do than what the Cowboys did do. I mean, the Eagles fell asleep at the wheel, and it happens. I mean, we've seen it time and again. Here's the one thing that has gotten me when people are trying to downgrade teams this season, you know, whether it's New England or the Bears. Well, who have they beaten? And my question to them is, give me anyone you beat that matters. I mean, this league is so watered down. There is all this parity around the NFL. There is no way to define a quality win in the NFL. So never use the argument, well, who have they beaten? They've beaten the same dredge that everyone else has beaten. So getting back to the Dallas Cowboys, the Cowboys are not a good football team. Their defense is not good. They have a quarterback that, you know, if he gets into rhythm, he can get some damage done. He has quality receivers. But the Cowboys are honestly no different than any other team in the NFL. There are no great teams in the NFL. They're not even very good teams in the NFL. Every single team, all 32, are marred by major question marks at major positions. So again, there's no such thing as a bad loss or a quality win in the NFL because they're all the same.
To your point about a lot of people have criticized the Bears for winning a bunch of games, but not against, you know, quote, good competition. Do you see them as the favorite in that division, or do you think the Packers or Lions jump them?
Well, I mean, obviously we have Packers-Lions coming up tomorrow, do we not? So, I mean, look, there's a chance that there's just going to be separation. Do I think New England, who has right now the best record in the NFL, is the best team? I don't know. Maybe at the end of the year they will be. This is why it's going to be so interesting moving on, you know, as far as playoff experience. Playoff experience matters. I mean, look at the Ravens right now. After starting 1-5, they get Lamar Jackson back. They rattle off 5 in a row. Now all of a sudden they're tied with the Steelers. So, like on the AFC side, do I trust New England? Do I trust the Colts? Or would I be more trusting of Buffalo or the Ravens? The reason I don't mention the Chiefs is that even with their win against the Colts, had they lost that game, they would still be the same seed they are now, 10th. They are the current 10 seed in the AFC. If they'd lost that game, they would be the 10th seed. They still would be at the exact same seed. So, yeah, I mean, I could the Bears win the NFC North? Sure. But a year ago, they were the juggernauts of the NFL, that division, with the Lions and the Vikings and the Packers. And then came the postseason, and they were 0-3. They all lost their first games. So the postseason is a very different beast than the regular season. And so it's going to be interesting because a lot of these, Johnny-come-latelys are going to be sitting there as division champions. They're going to be hosting playoff games, and they're going to lose to teams that have been down that road before. So I don't think that what's going to happen here in the regular season is honestly going to have any bearing on the postseason.
Steve Hartman joining us like he does every single week. Always appreciate Steve's time. Now, Steve, I've actually lost sleep about this. The fact that last week I didn't bring up Randy Jones to you. I know you put out a tweet about it, but Randy Jones, all-time Padre, one of the best players in franchise history, passed away November 18th, which was last Tuesday. Steve, do you have any thoughts about Randy Jones passing?
Well, obviously very sad about it. We had Randy Jones on our radio show shortly after he got diagnosed with cancer. And, he assured everybody that it was a struggle, but he was battling. Look, I absolutely love Randy Jones. I'm going to share a very quick story. I've actually told this story before. So way back in 1982, I'm working on Dodger Talk. I had just turned 24 years old. The host of the show, my mentor, Bud Ferrillo, was the host of Dodger Talk. And so we're down on the field. He's looking for a guest. And Randy Jones was playing his last year in the majors as a member of the New York Mets. So we grab Randy Jones. We walk into the visiting dugout. Again, this is, a few hours before the game. And I'm sitting right next to Randy Jones. And Bud is calling upstairs to say, hey, we got Randy Jones at an interview. So as I'm sitting next to Randy Jones, I'm not even talking to the guy. I'm just sitting there. And he's got this big wad of tobacco that he's chewing on, right? And he sort of looks at me, and he looks down at my shoes. I was wearing penny loafers. Penny loafers were in 1982. So he looks at me. I look at him. No words are spoken. He looks down at my shoe. And then this tidal wave of tobacco juice comes out of his mouth and literally blankets my right shoe. I mean, covers it. And I was so horrified. I didn't know what to say. He just, without even any hesitance, sort of gave me a wink. And then he got up to do the interview. And obviously I was absolutely horrified by this. So when I came to San Diego in the early 90s and had a chance to, meet Randy Jones, on a real basis, I shared that story with him. Of course, he had no recall of it, but he goes, yeah, it sounds like something I would do. I absolutely love Randy Jones. He was an absolute treasure of San Diego, a man who really had two spectacular seasons in 75 and 76. The rest of his career wasn't great, but the fact that two spectacular seasons, I was at the night that they retired his number, 1997. Denise and I brought our newborn son, Drake, to the game out there at Qualcomm to see the big night of him getting his number retired. But he just kept giving back to the community. So, I had a friend of mine that's a diehard Padre fan. He said the second greatest Padre of all time has passed away. The greatest, of course, being Tony Gwynn. And he, and that's a how Padre fans feel and how they should feel. Randy Jones was a treasure to San Diego, absolutely deserving of having his number retired. And he will very much be missed.
That's awesome. So LeBron back for the last 3 games. We talked to you last week. Lakers get a win over the Clippers last night. How have you seen them kind of gel with LeBron being back in the mix? And has it pushed the Lakers farther up or farther down on your rankings in the Western Conference?
Well, I mean, look, I'm going to give LeBron a lot of credit here because it was made clear to him you're the third scoring option on this team for sure. I mean, Luka's going to lead the league in scoring. And, by year's end, I think Austin Reeves will definitely be north of 25, 26 points a game. And he's accepted that. Where's your value to this team? It's not going to be on the defensive end. So it's going to be as a facilitator. So if LeBron plays like he has played in these first 3 games back, and of course he's benefited from the fact that they play a game and they have 3 days off, another game, 4 days off. At some point they're going to be playing multiple games there. They got to make up some of their schedule. But as long as LeBron stays in his lane, then this will work. And absolutely, this team goes. The problem, of course, is you're in the same conference as Oklahoma City. I don't know how many games they're going to win. It's probably going to be at least 70, unless they have some catastrophic injuries. They're that good. So, yeah, I mean, as long as LeBron is going to play like he's played so far, and as I say, understand you're the third scoring option. We need you as a facilitator, and he stays in his lane. I think it'll be great for the Lakers.
Steve, you're the best, man. Happy Thanksgiving. We are thankful for you. I know all of San Diego is thankful for Steve Hartman and all the years you put in here. We love you, pal, and we'll talk very, very soon.
I just want to say quickly, I love you guys. I'm so proud of both of you guys. You're absolutely kicking ass. You're dominating the airways middays in San Diego. Not a surprise. I've known you two forever. And you are so far ahead of where I was at this point. It blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind where you guys are and where I was at the same stage. So continued success, and I'll talk to you on the other side.
Well, there's very few people in the history of radio who have 40-year radio careers. Steve Hartman's one of them. And Steve, if we get to 40 years doing this show, we expect your old wrinkly balls to be on this show once a week, talking to us on a weekly basis.
It'll take me that long to finally get back to San Diego, apparently. So, but I will be back before that. I promise you.
It sounds great.
Steve, we
Hartman,
love you, brother.
One of the best to ever do it. Steve
too.
Hartman joins us every single week. We got a bunch of talkbacks that have been rolling in throughout the show today. We're going to play as many of them as we possibly can before we get out of here. That's coming up next. But right now, your opportunity to win a 4-pack of tickets to San Diego SeaWorld. 877-767-4760. 4 tickets to SeaWorld for their Christmas celebration are on the line. Semi, what number?
We did 15 last time. Let's go 16.
16. Call number 16. You're going to SeaWorld San Diego. Call right now, 877-767-4760 if you want to go experience the Christmas season at SeaWorld San Diego. The one more time for us here coming up next, the talkbacks that you've been leaving all day. You'll hear them on the other side live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you for a final time here today. Let's get some of these talkbacks and then we're going to rip through Sammy's final long shots of the afternoon. We got one early in the day from JP. Let's take a listen, Sammy, if you will.
Guys, can you please ask Hartman what he ate on Tuesday night? Most likely it's sashimi, but I want to hear from him.
Probably a date night reference. Good for you, JP. Well done on the talkback there. If you ever want to use the talkback mic, you can download the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to San Diego Sports 760. Little red microphone icon in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Click it. You could leave a 30-second message, just like our guy Thomas left one for us.
What's up, gentlemen? Thomas from San Diego. I should have asked yesterday when you had the fantasy football guru on, but who would you start this weekend? Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, or Patrick Mahomes? I have all three of those guys in my fantasy. And yeah, it's kind of a toss-up there. I'm not sure. Who would you start out of those three?
Kind of amazing you have all three of them.
Yeah, I'm about to say, Thomas, like, let me get in that fantasy league, man.
Look, Mahomes is probably the obvious choice because he's playing against Dallas, but I would not sleep on Sam Darnold playing against the Vikings. Who did the Bills have this weekend?
The Bills have the Steelers. The reason I wouldn't go Allen is because they have a bunch of injuries. Now I'm talking about it, like Kincaid might miss, both tackles might miss.
Might be a Josh Allen rushing game.
Right. I guess now I'm thinking about it. Josh Allen could just go Superman. So I think in terms of, listen, I love you some Sam Darnold, just in terms of Josh Allen and Mahomes are better quarterbacks in terms of like they have the higher upside. I'd probably roll with one of them. I think Mahomes has a big day against the Dallas defense back in Texas, but Josh Allen, we've seen what he has to do when he has to go Superman. So I don't think you'd really go wrong with any three of those.
All right. How about let's hear from Lori real quick here. She has a non-sports talk back she wants to get to.
Hi, this is Lori. I'm so glad I listened to you guys. Not just for sports, but also because I thought that the Stranger Things, the first 4 episodes were coming out tomorrow. So glad to know that they're coming out tonight. Can't wait for that. And thanks to you guys for a great show. I love listening to you and watching you on YouTube. Have a great Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lori, for listening to the show,
Lori.
Watching the show, however you consume it. We love it. Yeah, Sammy blew my mind earlier because all of the marketing around Stranger Things has been that it's releasing on Thanksgiving.
But they always do that thing where, seriously, Lori, thank you for listening.
This is like
to the show
what rappers do, huh? The album is coming out on this day, but really it comes out the night before, like 9:00.
Yeah, so they're doing that. It makes sense. They want to at 5 p.m. They're everyone, everyone's busy with the family on Thanksgiving.
I really haven't slept that much the last few nights because I've been up late working, and it looks like I'm not sleeping tonight either. Thank you, Stranger Things, for doing that to me. When I get home from Aztecs tonight, I will be watching Stranger Things. And then finally, let's get one more in here. Our guy, Juan, had to weigh in on something Steve Hartman said.
Oh, man. That might have been the single worst football take I think I've ever heard in my life. There's no good teams in the NFL. Damn it. I'm just going to have to strictly tune in for baseball.
Yeah, I was a little confused with Steve on that one.
Yeah, I didn't get that take at all.
If I'm following Steve's line of thought, I think what he was saying is the parity in the NFL this year is at an all-time high.
Yes, well, I was about to ask.
There's more good teams than normal.
I was about to ask, well, I think the Rams would have something to say about that. Like, I think the Rams.
But then again, the Rams lost to the Niners earlier this year.
I always got to bring it back to the Niners.
What do you want me to say? Like, that's their flaw. They lost to the Niners. They lost to a team that they're clearly so much better than.
Well, I'm saying if there's one team that has been so much better than everyone else this year, I think the Rams have that claim to fame because the Patriots, although they have the best record, there's a lot of concerns that the Patriots are actually going to show up in the biggest moments.
Sammy, we got a minute and a half left in this show, and you owe the people of San Diego 3 more picks. Let's rip through these quickly. We don't need explanations, just picks.
Luther Burden, more than 33.5 receiving yards. A quick explanation. I believe they're going to take apart that Philly defense. Aerial attack from Chicago. Saquon Barkley, more than 17.5 rush attempts for Philly. Every time he gets criticized, Nick Sirianni, he's getting criticized for giving him the ball 4 times in the second half. He ends up giving it to him the next week. Saquon Barkley, more than 17.5 rush attempts. And James Cook, Pittsburgh Buffalo, just got into it. The amount of injuries for Buffalo, Possibly Kincaid out. Both tackles out. Shakir might be out. More than 13.5 receiving yards from James Cook. Josh Allen and James Cook going to have to do this thing by themselves against that Mike Tomlin-led defense.
I like it a lot. Rip through those one more time real quick.
Luther Burden, receiver for the Chicago Bears, more than 33.5 receiving yards. Saquon Barkley, more than 17.5 rush attempts. And James Cook for the Bills, more than 13.5 receiving yards.
All right, I'll be back with you later tonight at 6:30, getting you ready for San Diego State and Baylor live from Las Vegas, which is where John Schaefer is right now. And he's coming up next. Tomorrow, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Seriously, we are thankful for you, people who listen to this show every single day. Do us a favor, share it with your friends. Tell people in the new year we're coming in hot and heavy. And if you want to make a bunch of money, just listen to 1245 every day. We'll take it. It is San Diego Sports 760. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow, while you're eating, turn on the radio, listen to 760. We got the Chiefs-Cowboys game right here on 760. John Schaefer is next. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
Happy Thanksgiving!